Good morning and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our daily get-together, 10:30 live here on Facebook, where we gather to take a look at headlines and stories that relate to things going on around the world. Some things are happening near us, some things are happening far away, but one way or another, we try to find a connection between those things and our lives here in Puerto Vallarta as an English-speaking community. If you're new to these broadcasts, please know that my name is Paco and we get together every morning. So if you're new, please write the word new in your comments so that we can welcome you appropriately, so that we can know where you're from, how you heard about coffee and headlines, and so forth. Today, we have all kinds of excellent news to share, important news to share. And at the end of the show, we're going to watch a video that is both funny and sad, both funny and sad, if you can believe that. It is great to see some regular faces that I see every day. Look at you all. So nice to see you. Buenos días a todos. Sherry Cooper, my first day as a member of this group. That is true. Sherry just became one of the new supporters of Coffee and Headlines. Thank you very much for your trust, Sherry. We will continue to develop daily news and stories for everyone as long as you can stand me. And when you cannot stand me anymore, I trust that you will slap me around properly. I know that, oh my God, Kathleen's here. I will stop bantering Todd, Kathleen, I promise. I hope you had a great day back opening licks yesterday, and I hope everybody's doing good. Let us jump into the news because there's all kinds of things that I want to share with you today. So let's dive in. Well, for starters, the opening of the Malecón here in Puerto Vallarta, along with tourist-related activities, is right around the corner, or so says our mayor. Mayor Dávalos made an announcement yesterday to reflect the intention of our governor, saying that we are reopening, and we are reopening carefully, being mindful of the importance to be coherent, to keep the balance in check between the economic needs of the destination and also the health needs of the destination. So Dávalos said indeed that health clubs and sport clubs can operate at 25% capacity, and churches that we failed to mention yesterday can now have services with no more than 50 people inside the church. Again, he is mindful of the number of cases that we have, and we are all mindful of the fact that this new stage of personal responsibility is one in which we have to continue making the best decisions for ourselves and threading the path carefully. Again, there's no specific date for the reopening of the Malecón and all these tourist-related activities. We have friends that do tours around the bay and so forth and so on, and we know that they're itching to go back to their activity, and we will keep you posted as the news develop and as the announcements are made. We also find out that business people are mindful of the fact that the beaches have reopened. I didn't see any photos that looked chaotic yesterday in terms of beach attendance. If anybody was at the beach yesterday, please let us know how it went. But the business community in Puerto Vallarta trusts that as we move forward, more tourism will start coming into the city. We heard from Jorge Zambrano Hernandez, who used to be president of the Restaurant Association, and he saw that there's many happy families out and about. We can only hope that, of course, these happy families are going about their business in a safe way, safe for them and safe for the people around them. We also find out that the state of Jalisco received the endorsement of the Safe Travels endorsement, or got approval from the World Travel and Tourism Council. What this essentially means is that the state of Jalisco promises to abide by a series of guidelines which are posted on the World Travel Tourism Council website, and I'm going to leave you with a link here so that you can take a look at all the protocols that our destinations are committing to so that we can continue to remain a healthy destination to the best of ability that the hotels and industries can provide. In the city of Guadalajara, there seems to be some confusion as to whether health clubs can open now or whether they can open once they have their sticker of approval. In the past, we heard, once we were starting this new phase, that if you had all the paperwork in check, but you had not received the actual sticker, that you could reopen. My suggestion is that if you are a health club owner, that you contact the local authorities and you let them know that you have a concern if you have one, so that you can be on the right side of the law. And if you are a gym goer, again, just check with your local health clubs to see what's going on. And I also found a great article about what's going on with coronavirus around the world, just to give us a point of reference as to what's going on in other places. And I'm going to link this article, as always, so that you can have a good look at it on your spare time. Let me take a quick look for questions you may have. Doom, beam, beam, beam. And I know you make fun of me because I go doom, beam, 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 and things like that. Kathleen says, hi from Medicine Hat, Alberta, Canada. Good morning. Good morning in Minnesota, Karen. I saw a question from Craig. Yes, here it is. Any word on foreign travelers ban being allowed? I haven't heard of this. To the best of my knowledge, I know that there are no bans for traveling to Mexico. I know that there is a restriction for folks crossing the border from the United States to Mexico by car, because I understand that they may ask you what brings you to Mexico, and if you're crossing the border by car and you are not on official or important business, I understand this is not allowed. But to the best of my knowledge, everybody or anybody that is wanting to come to Mexico can do that. Are cruise ships allowed in Puerto Vallarta? I have no idea, but I'd be surprised if there are any cruise ships doing any leisurely travel right now anywhere in the world. Apaches is playing with your plants. I read playing with my pants, and I'm not even going to go there. Anyhow, keep your questions coming. I always try to answer them as best as I can, but I'm going to move on to some of the leisurely stuff that I have planned for you, because I have great news, and the most important news today is you. Let's take a look. But first, a quick look at the weather for today. It is 83 degrees. It feels like 91 degrees. It is 29 Celsius. Humidity is not as high as it usually is, only 75%. It's going to be cloudy. Carrot weather says, I'm just making things up as I go along here. Well, sometimes I feel like I have days like that. No, I don't make things up. You know that. We know that. We try to find important sources of information, and we try to stick to those. So don't believe carrot weather. Anyhow, I want to give you an update of something wonderful that you made possible. And this is the fact that last week we had the virtual Pride celebration here in Puerto Vallarta. I decided to do a talk show during that week, and I called it La Vida Gay. And I had the opportunity to interview some wonderful people in English and in Spanish, because there are gay people in town that speak Spanish. Imagine that. And I invited folks to contribute last week, for the betterment of the staff at Hotel Mercurio, because they were hit as hard as anybody else with the COVID-19 pandemic. They continue to receive their salary, but no tips. I also invited you, Coffee and Headlines community, to also direct your coffees to this cause. And yesterday, after the broadcast was over, I finally gave myself a chance to tally the coffees that were received during the week, and I have a number for you. Drum roll, ta-da! I want you to know that during the week, you kindly pitched in 139 coffees, which translates to $417, which translates to almost 10,000 pesos, that I will be so very happy to direct to Paul Christ and his staff um, to be able to help them continue to move forward through the pandemic. I didn't make this possible. You made this possible, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. And Paul, I gave him the news yesterday, and he was quick to share this short video with me that I would very much like to share with you as well.
Good morning. It's been great having Paco hang out here at Hotel Mercurio for the past week. I kind of miss him today, but he's home with Luna. And I want to thank him immensely for the contribution to help my staff out, to recoup a little of what they've lost over these months in lockdown where they haven't been able to work. They have received their pay, or at least most of it, as I was able to do, but they haven't had tips and commissions from booking tours and so forth. So the money that Paco is contributing through this past week through his Buy Me a Coffee fund is just amazing. And while I'm at it, let me just say that everybody who has stepped up to help people in their communities everywhere has just been humbling and beautiful to see. Difficult times, and I almost think we're at a tipping point where the world is going to change a little bit and be a little bit nicer. I hope I'm right. And thank you to everyone, and have a great day. Thank you so much.
So that was my dear friend Paul. And yes, I think we're going to come out of this becoming a better community. Whether you tuned in to the virtual Pride celebration or not, one thing is clear to me, and it's something that has been clear to me for the longest of times, and I hope it's becoming clear to you as well. And this is the fact that there are many extraordinary stories to be shared about the most ordinary people here in Puerto Vallarta. We are all extraordinary and commonplace, ordinary at the same time. And the wonderful thing about what went on in during the virtual Pride celebration is that a lot of people gave themselves the opportunity to tell their story through streams. Some streams were live, others were pre-recorded. And this is something that I'm happy to see that more people became aware of within the community. The community is very diverse. There's always place for all the parties and the nightlife and so forth and so on. But I got to learn about folks that make dresses for drag queens. I got to learn about people that are doing fitness classes and real estate agents that are committed to providing a safe link for the LGBT community. And of course, this is something that we know here, because what we try to do here at Coffee and Headlines is focus on you, focus on everybody, because we all have great stories to tell. And we're going to continue, obviously, sharing those stories moving forward. Let's go back to headlines, because I have leisurely stuff to share. And the most important headline that I want to start with has to do with the LGBTQ community. In fact, I found out yesterday, once I had a chance to look at the headlines, that it is now illegal in the United States to fire an employee for being gay or being trans. So this is a huge moment of law provided by the United States Congress. And of course, our friends from Vox come out with the most wonderful explainer article about what this means and what happens moving forward. I invite you to read about this in your own time. Whether you're part of the community or not, I think it's good to understand the implications of this important piece of legislation. I also found out that the 2021 Oscars have been pushed back for 2 months due to the coronavirus pandemic. And of course, there's an article by Vox. We love Vox. You know that? Where they talk about whether this should even happen or not. So if you're a film buff and you want to see what's going on with the Academy Awards, feel free to read these two articles. Now, I want to tell you before we jump into the next headline what this is about because, um, again, and I sound like a broken record, but we have to say this: there are different levels of comfort out there. There are people that are moving gracefully into the new normal. There are other people that are very cautious. But the reality of it is that this cautiousness is happening everywhere in the world, and we've read some of the guidelines that have come out of the Department of Health in the United States about tips and tricks that you can keep in mind. And once again, Vox has come to our rescue with this article called "We Have to Protect Each Other from the Coronavirus," and and addresses the virus from the point of view of the fact that it is impossible to continue to keep society locked down. You know, it now becomes a gamble and something that we need to live carefully through in the United States, in the world, here in Puerto Vallarta, everywhere. So again, I invite you to read this. Here's a wonderful quote from the article. People should think about COVID-19 risk in four dimensions: distance to other people, environment, activity, and time spent together. I won't continue quoting the article, but I will definitely invite you to read it and share your opinion about this with us. Before we move forward, I want to take a quick look at your comments. Um, and yes, Kathleen, I think the more of us have a nice mindset about what's coming, um, the more it's going to get sticky. And this is a pandemic we'd like to have, a pandemic of positive attitude. Um, Rocio, buenos días. Te mando un abrazo. The stories I have were really interesting. Well, you know, we're surrounded by interesting people. All we have to do is take some time to ask people what they're about. You know, we were having a conversation, some friends and I, this weekend about how the question of what do you do for work, or what do you do for a living, is a question that sometimes can feel not quite as an attack, but I mean, there are people that okay, let me start again because I'm getting confused here. I try not to ever ask people, what do you do for work or what do you do for a living? If more often than not, I try to ask people, what keeps you motivated? What keeps you inspired? Because I remember back from college. I mean, when I went to college, it was expected that you were graduating and you would be doing this and that and the other. And that it was just a common question amongst my friends coming out of college and living in the States. You know, there was this constant pressure of, you know, by a certain date, you have to have this much money saved and you have to have a retirement account and you have to have owned a house by such and such date and so forth and so on. Fuck that. You know, let's go around the world telling people, asking people, you know, what keeps you motivated and what keeps you inspired, because maybe we'll find that we have certain things in common. But it's not about how I think, it's about how we move forward through this. Let me take a quick look at, oh, speaking of college, my dear friend from college, Earl, I love you. I miss you, Earl, who is in Provincetown, and we went to music school together, and we have so many great memories. Absolutely. And what Apache says is absolutely true. We had a chance to connect as a community, and I hope that there continues to be a movement for the community moving forward. Lots of rainbows. Yay. Lars comments about the readers' numbers. And yes, I am very happy. My project, Coffee and Headlines, the website, are wonderful thanks to you. And thanks to the fact that we try to keep the connections going, and we're going to try to do this moving forward. Congratulations on a successful event. Thank you. I think um, everybody really stepped up to the challenge and did so in a very, very creative way. Great comments from Marimatis. This is all wonderful. Before I forget, I want to mention three interactions that I had recently. One of you readers commented that the website was a little difficult to read. I changed the colors on the website, so hopefully it's better to manage now. I also heard from someone whose Roku box to watch television got fried in one of the thunderstorms. So let this be a reminder for folks that are new to Puerto Vallarta. When we come into the rain and thunder shower season, let us just say that our electricity is not quite as reliable as the electricity in other places. And we have all heard horror stories of televisions that just got fried, or microwave ovens, or even worse, computers. This is expensive equipment we all own. For the most part, we're not insured. So next time you go to Costco or what's the name of the other one? Sam's, consider buying a voltage regulator and being careful of your electronics because things can happen. Along those lines, I'm looking for some help myself. I came home and I was watching my television, and it was not even raining, and all of a sudden my TV set went and it died, but not completely. I quickly got online and realized that I have an LG TV, and I discovered that the LG brand of television sets tends to use very um, uh, not very good capacitors, and apparently the television can be repaired. So I will be looking for a local repair person that can take a look at my large television set and hopefully bring it back to life. If you've had a similar experience, please let me know in the comment section or reach out to me privately, because I will very much appreciate that. Along the same lines, if I find somebody that does this kind of work here in town, I'll be happy to share my insights with you. Um, and I want to move back to a couple of last minute headlines that I have for you. And the first one has to do with our dear, dear friend, Michael Beford, whom I haven't reached out to because I've been, excuse me, recovering. But here we go. Things must be going well for Michael and his Siam restaurant, because now he's announced that starting this Thursday, he is reopening Bravos for takeout, pickup, and delivery. So good for you, Michael. I am glad that things are working out for you. We wish you much success in your endeavors. And of course, I'm going to be calling you in the next few days so that we can have a little interview, because the Coffee and Headlines audience has asked for it. We're also going to be reaching out to Trisha Lyman because you wanted to hear more from her. I always want to hear more from all the work that Trisha Lyman is doing. And I promised you I have a video that is both funny and sad to wrap things up today. As we know, there's a lot of rivers in town that, or around Puerto Vallarta, that end up heading in the ocean. Well, this particular video was taken in the past couple of days, where a crocodile was spotted lounging on a floating couch. And I'm not making it up. I saw the video, and I'm going to leave you with a link to it. I thought it was so absolutely funny that this happened. It's like, what the fuck? A crocodile just sunbathing on a couch. And of course, the sad part of it is that somebody had the audacity to just dump a couch in the river. And this is not something that that people should be doing. But what can I tell you? That's just what I saw, and that's what I'm going to share with you today. And I think we're getting to wrap this up, unless I see some interesting conversations here. Dinner from Archie's. I hope that means, Lynn, that you had. Oh, you did dinner from Archie's last night. So happy. Please let us know if you had takeout of their, or if they are reopened, because Archie's Walk is another spectacular restaurant. Nancy, interesting to hear that you had the same issue with an LG TV. If you still have your TV and I find out a way to repair it, I'll let you know. If, on the other hand, you have a tip of somebody that might bring mine to life, I would very much appreciate it. Beach Crossers is also open. No transportation or tours at this time, but wheelchairs and scooters are available. I'm not familiar with Beach Crossers, Terry, but I hope it is a fun business and something to keep in mind. If you want to share the Facebook page, by all means, feel free to share it, because that way we can all learn more about this business. And that's pretty much all I have for you today. This afternoon, yay, good news. My new vacuum cleaner is arriving from Amazon.com. As I've been telling you, these past 3 months of cleaning my own apartment have given me a higher level of appreciation for my maid, who is still out and about. I'm not asking her to come back yet, but I'm getting a new vacuum cleaner to take care of all the hair that Luna leaves behind. So, because I have all my packages delivered to Hotel Mercurio, I don't have a doorbell here at your casa. We don't have a doorbell here, so it's difficult to get packages here. I'm gonna go into town. I'm gonna be shooting some video just so that we can all get a sense as to what's going on around the quale, what's going on around the beach, um, so that we can get a sense as to how we feel about starting to explore out and about. Lynn clarifies that Archie's has reopened. It's good to know. And Terry Gargan, oh my God, Terry, I think I just messed up your last name, has given us the website for beachcrossers.com. I am intrigued. I'm going to go take a look at it. Oh, there we go. Oh my God, this is wonderful. I had no idea. Oh, wow. Physically and disabled or seniors. This is great news. Oh my goodness, this is important to look into. I will definitely go exploring. Thank you so much for sharing things here at Coffee and Headlines, because one tries to keep eyes and ears open to all the wonderful things that go on here in Puerto Vallarta. And it's always thanks to bring things that you bring up during the programs that I can learn more things to share about and share with others. So I am going to end the program today feeling really happy about having spent time with you today, as always, and hoping that you have a wonderful day, a happy day, a creative day, an LGBT SCOTUS legislation day, and what else am I missing? Have a floating crocodile day. And I'll see you soon, I hope. Take it easy. Bye-bye.